Tom Cruise is seriously unlucky in love. He's blamed for ruining numerous relationships with Hollywood beauties, and Tom's 3 divorces prove that he just can't build healthy romances. The former celebrity crush has reportedly been single for the last 10 years, and there are many reasons why women no longer fall for Tom. Cruise has been called intense, controlling, and way too invested in his church. And that's only what his baby mamas have said. The thing is, Nicole Kidman and Katie Holmes didn't just leave Tom Cruise. They escaped. And Katie took their daughter with her. But is Tom still a bachelor because of these red flags? Or is Cruise no longer interested in any kind of romance?
I'm just living my life. And I'm doing the best that I can and doing it in a way that I feel is right.
Only the things that feel right to Tom are often dictated by his church. It's the main reason for several of his past breakups. Cruise admitted that his first wife, Mimi Rogers, was the one who introduced him to his faith. Initially, the actor was very vocal about his affection for Mimi, but their marriage only lasted 3 years. The relationship started to crumble as Tom got more famous and became more involved in his faith. Also, Mimi admitted that as Mrs. Cruise, you cease to be an individual. No matter what, it's Tom Cruise's wife. Mimi also dropped this shocking reveal when asked why she was divorced. Here's the real story. Tom was seriously thinking of becoming a monk. Marriage wouldn't fit into his spiritual needs, and he thought he had to be celibate. Since then, the actor's beliefs have allegedly done some serious damage to Cruise's love life. They caused the splits with his girlfriends Penelope Cruz and Sofia Vergara, and with his wives Nicole and Katie. At some point, Tom seemed to have lost control over his romances. You see, a few years ago, Vanity Fair accused Cruise's church of trying to recruit actress Nazanin Boniadi to be Tom's girlfriend. The outlet revealed that Naz didn't know she was trying out for the part of Cruise's boo. The actress thought she was signing up for a humanitarian project. Whatever the truth, the church denies these claims, and Naz refuses to talk about it. But what about the women Tom was with before he became religious? The actor has a long list of exes, and several of them have revealed that the reasons for their breakups were because of Tom's personality. Cruise's first ever celeb girlfriend, Melissa Gilbert, admitted that the actor was a really good kisser. Cher, who dated Tom for a bit in the mid-80s, elaborated a little more.
I've had just the greatest lovers ever.
Where did Tom Cruise rank on that list?
Well, he was in the top 5.
However, these two ladies' compliments are in the minority. Most of Tom's early exes don't have anything nice to say about him. Heather Locklear thought Tom was so weird she never made it to a second date with him.
We went dancing, and he did, in Risky Business, where he does that dance in his underwear and
Yeah,
the splits.
of course.
We were dancing at a club, and he went into that.
However, Tom's Risky Business love interest, Rebecca De Mornay, found him charming. Eventually, when asked about the relationship, Rebecca admitted that she'd never meant to date her co-star. Tom was extremely annoying at first. He came to grow on me because we wound up together for 2.5 years after that film. Cruise's behavior has even been questioned by women he hasn't dated, and it certainly affects his appeal. Tom's been seen yelling at crew members and assistants. Even other actors have admitted he's difficult on set. Tandiwe Newton from Mission Impossible 2 called Tom dominant and stressful, making him a nightmare co-worker. And being a tough colleague could negatively impact his love life, because Tom has a habit of dating his on-screen love interests. It's how he met several of his former girlfriends, like Penelope Cruz and Hayley Atwell. This is also how Cruise met his second wife, Nicole Kidman, the same year of his divorce from Mimi. At the time, critics called the relationship a rebound that wouldn't last, especially because Tom admitted, "My first reaction to meeting Nick was pure lust. It was totally physical. I thought she was amazingly sexy and stunning. It grew into love and respect." Although Kidman was blinded by her love for Cruise, she often felt like a trophy wife. Her husband controlled her career, words, and even her look. Tom made her feel less, literally. Nicole wasn't allowed to wear high heels when they were going out together, and she didn't feel confident around Tom.
It was interesting, actually, and this was anyway, I'm talking too much.
Nevertheless, Nicole and Tom dreamed about children, and after numerous failed attempts to conceive, the couple adopted a girl and a boy. Both kids joined their father's church. However, Nicole's initial interest in Tom's beliefs turned into skepticism. Although she was suffocating around her husband, it was Cruise who filed for divorce. When the Aussie star was legally single, she danced in the street to celebrate her liberation. But while Kidman got her freedom, She failed to get her son and daughter away. They remained devoted to Cruz's church and lost their bond with their mum. Nicole hardly ever sees her adult kids. Moreover, she didn't attend her daughter's wedding. But Tom's next wife managed to learn from Kidman's mistakes, and she was an exception in his habit of dating co-stars. Katie Holmes had never worked with the actor. Instead, to get her to agree to meet him, Cruz lied about a potential collaboration. And it was for the strangest reason. He saw an interview with the actress in which she admitted to a childhood crush on Cruz. Tom's haters called his reaction seriously egotistical and a little gross, especially since Katie's so much younger than him, nearly 2 decades. Honestly, the Dawson's Creek alum should have just listened to those naysayers. Initially, Katie and her daughter Suri became members of Cruz's church, but this didn't last long. Holmes didn't agree with some of the practices and found the experience too intense. She wanted to get out. Thankfully, by the time Katie considered divorce, she knew what she had to do. Her dad, an attorney, drew up her prenup and mediated her divorce. He ensured Katie wouldn't have a messy breakup. In fact, the Cruz split was settled in 2 weeks, which is like light speed in Hollywood. And when Katie left, she took Suri. The actress was granted total custody of the little girl. She also had clauses in her divorce that ensured Suri could not attend boarding schools, including those from Tom's church. Katie's determination to keep Suri away from Tom's beliefs means that the little girl hardly ever sees her dad. In fact, it's been 10 years since the father and daughter were last photographed together. And it's not just Suri who doesn't see much of her dad. The actor is closer to his adopted children than Nicole is, but Tom doesn't regularly visit them either. The last time he was with both his eldest son and daughter, they were still teenagers. This strained relationship with his children would be a huge red flag for any potential love interest, don't you think? Overall, it doesn't seem like an easy job to date Tom Cruise. His baby mamas don't want their kids to see him, and he has a habit of trying to convert women to his faith. Plus, any eligible bachelorette would need to navigate his temper and his weirdness. It's no wonder women aren't queuing up to date Mr. Cruise. But then again, maybe that's not what the actor wants. Remember that his first wife mentioned how he was determined to be a monk and that celibacy was important to Tom? Well, he had an almost decade-long dry spell with no romances and had no problem with that. So maybe Cruise actually chose his career and his religion over love. Do you think that Tom can change his dating habits in his 60s?